Well, hi, everybody. I'm Marlin Bohling with Rural Radio. That's Channel 147 on Sirius XM, and I'm here talking with one of our regulars on Rural Radio. It's Shaun Haney. He's with RealAg, and thanks for joining us here. It's good to talk with you in person here as you visit Nashville for a change. How about that?
Yeah, this is fun. This is great to be in Nashville, in studio, nonetheless. Yeah. This is a great time, and I'm actually enjoying the nice winter weather here in Tennessee.
And I understand you've been in Nashville a few times before.
Yeah, I have. This is probably got to be about my 12th time here. It is one of my favorite cities to visit. I've always said that I could definitely live in Tennessee. I really love the area and all the things that Nashville has to offer.
So, okay, we're fascinated to learn more about Shaun Haney. What's behind the voice, behind the microphone? Did you grow up on a farm? What's your background like?
So I actually did. I always joke I'm probably the most unmechanically inclined farm kid in the history of agriculture. So I always had kind of a leaning to more things about communication, even though I did grow up on a farm and I really enjoyed it. I knew that I wasn't going to be, say, a primary producer, but I wanted to be in the industry. I loved it so much. And we still have that seed farm today, which I'm still a part of and still work inside of from a management standpoint. But I forged out and I guess started Real Agriculture back in 2008.
So you grew up on a farm, but where?
In southern Alberta. So Lethbridge, it would be about 2-hour drive south of Calgary, or for some of the American listeners, I'm about an hour north of the Montana border.
That was my next question. So you kind of have a little bit of U.S. flavor from growing up there. You're pretty close to the border.
Yeah, you know what? And that's one of the things Canadians and Americans from an agriculture standpoint they do have a lot in common. There's a lot of the same challenges, some of the same opportunities. And so, yeah, I think living so close to the U.S. border really you grew up around it, and so we always knew a lot about what was going on in Montana from an agriculture standpoint, especially it applies to beef and all the ranching that happens there. So, I'm definitely familiar with the American industry.
So you mentioned that you started Real Agriculture in 2008, right?
Yeah, it was a hobby, right?
Really?
I started a website and just started blogging, and I was working on it at nights, and all of a sudden I had a few people call me and say, hey, could we advertise on that blog? And I was like, sure, that'd be great. And that's kind of how it started and kind of got the snowball rolling. And I knew right away that I was very, very passionate about it. I had done writing for a bunch of ag publications in Canada. And this new medium, Twitter and YouTube and Facebook were kind of taking off at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so that was a real help in terms of getting distribution much faster than traditional methods.
So originally it was just writing about agriculture then?
Yeah, so it started by writing, and then I think about 6 months in, we started posting some video. And the funny thing about that is that at that time, people were like, farmers are not going to watch videos on the internet, right? Like, why would they ever do that? And we've quickly proven that is just not the case. And, our YouTube channel, I think we've got over 2 million views, different videos that are on it. And it's been a huge part of our success. And now we do a lot of podcasting as well. There's probably numerous, I would say, like 5 episodes of different podcasts, including the radio show, posted on our iTunes podcast network. So we got a lot of different ways to reach the audience.
So you and I have both done podcasting about agriculture. I did that for probably about 5-6 years before they invented the term podcasting. They didn't know what it was at the time. So that's really cool to run across somebody else that has also done that. So you've kind of grown up from it in its infancy and kind of expanded on it. All along the way. Yeah,
it's been interesting. Moving from where you're doing podcasting, where there's really no set time limits, to sort of just go as you want. There's really maybe no regular schedule. When we transitioned to the radio show in October, that was something to sort of get our heads around, right? Is how do you actually do this radio thing? And it's actually been a really, really nice transition. And Jay Stroeve, that produces our radio show, does a great, great job. And co-host Kelvin Hepner is fantastic as well. And the three of us just sort of pushed through, and it's been great, and we're happy to be a part of the Real Radio family.
So how is Real Ag different from other radio shows?
Well, Real Ag Radio, what makes it different, I think, from the standpoint of this station, is the fact that it's Canadian, right? So we do talk about issues that impact producers on both sides of the border, but really the content is thinking about it from a Canadian perspective. So just give you an example, a lot of talk right now about trade and NAFTA and renegotiation. So it's talking about it from Canada's point of view, which we've heard from a lot of American listeners. They really, really appreciate a different context and to get a better understanding of what the issues really, really are. And we do have a lot of people that email us regularly from some of those northern plain states like Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, saying how much they love the show.
So give us an idea of the mechanics, if you would. What does it take to put a show like that together?
Well, it's definitely not in a studio like this. But so what we do is I'm in southern Alberta. Kelvin's in southern Manitoba. He's just like a half hour north of the North Dakota border. So we're both very familiar with American agriculture. So we both we record at the same time. And we send the files to producer Jay Stroeve, and he works his magic from a production standpoint and puts it together, and then uploads it to Rural Radio. So there's really 3 situations. We're both in our home studios, so be it, or we're out and about at trade shows like we are this week at NCBA and FarmTech's going on. So our team is really, really on the move when it comes to winter as it applies to conferences and farm shows.
So our viewers and listeners might be interested to know, what do you do when you're not doing this program? I mean, what are you, out curling? What do you do all the time?
Stereotypical kid, hunting for beaver.
Yeah, right.
Tapping maple syrup. No, so what I love to do actually is we do a lot of stuff with our kids in terms of sports and family. Both my kids play hockey and baseball, and we love to do that. And as well, I'm an avid reader, so I do lots of reading in my spare time as well.
I suppose you were a big fan of the Red Green Show.
That is. There's a lot of American fans that are fans of that show. That is a huge cult following. Yes, Red Green is one of our famous exports, and
or infamous.
Yeah, more I would say, and more behaved than say Justin Bieber. But we. Red Green is the duct tape. Duct tape will fix anything.
So with that in mind, let's turn the table a little bit. What kind of shows do you like on RFD TV or on Rural Radio?
Well, I do a lot of times. I wonder about the polka, but that is not my favorite. But there's something for everybody. My favorite shows when I think of Rural Radio really is the diversity of the content, right? So if you look at the day, the morning is all about news and markets. So you kind of get up to date on what's happening. And then right away it feeds into AgriTalk, which is really about politics and policy, which I'm really always interested in. And then for the agronomy geeks and honks in the crowd, it moves on to Ag PhD, so you get your agronomy fix. And then we're kind of right after that, and we're a real meld between all of that, right? We talk about markets, we talk about agronomy, and we also talk about some policy. So I got to say, I really do enjoy the whole lineup because there really is something for every kind of producer that's out there to be informed and stay up to date, to make decisions that are impacting their business. All
right. Well, I have you here. I want to do something fun with you. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I want to do some rapid fire questions.
Oh, rapid fire.
All right.
Okay.
Football or hockey?
College football.
Football. Oh, okay. All right. Merle or Dolly?
Oh, Merle.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Merle. Last song you listened to?
Eric Church, Drink in My Hand.
All right.
Which is a good one to have in Nashville because it's easy to get a drink out here.
That's very appropriate. All right. What's your favorite tractor color?
Oh, red.
Red. Okay. Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, hands down, no question about it.
Canadian?
Both.
You celebrate both?
I have a whole rant about why Thanksgiving is better than Christmas.
All right. Bacon or ham?
Bacon. Come on.
Awesome. I agree with that. Favorite Canadian food? In this case, it would just be called food, right?
What is a Canadian food? That's a good question. My favorite food is, it would be steak.
Steak. Yeah. I'm right with you on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. What are beaver tails?
Well, you can only find them in they're in the East Coast, and they are like deep fried piece of goodness. They're fantastic. It's like a bread, doughy. They're so good.
Well, it's been fun talking to you. Really, seriously, come back anytime. It's good to have you in the Rural Radio studios with us. So if anybody hasn't caught your program yet, how would they be able to catch it?
Lots of ways. So, of course, on Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM, it's at 4 p.m. Eastern every day. Also replayed the next morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. So you can catch it those two ways. It's also available podcast and as well on realagriculture.com.
And you're a regular guest on our Market Day Report as well, right?
Yeah, every morning I get a chance to talk about what's going on in Canadian agriculture as it applies to Americans and Canadians. That's at 10 Central every day.
All right. Well, awesome to have you with us. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, and good to visit with you. Look forward to doing it again, all right?
This is a lot of fun, for sure. Any reason to come to Nashville is good with me.
Sounds great to me. All right. And maybe sometime I'll return the favor. Shaun Haney with Real Agriculture. I'm Marlin Bohling for Rural Radio. Thanks for joining us.